Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a Friday night edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. On the Borders to Borders hotline, Bob Pompeani here, taking your calls until 11 o'clock tonight. So call us, 412-575-2600. The Steelers put their first official practices in today, one this morning, one this afternoon, open to the public this afternoon. We saw some interesting things there. Ben Roethlisberger throwing the ball all over the place. He has to make up for about 179 targets to Antonio Brown, who is now in Oakland, and who, by the way, arrived by way of hot air balloon, fittingly, in Oakland. But, you know, they're going to make up for that, and that's lost production. It's hard to replace 15 touchdowns and almost 1,500 yards. But Ben Roethlisberger is looking forward to the opportunity to spread the ball around. I do believe because he will do that and not force the ball at times to Antonio Brown, who really did demand it at times, and I think sometimes that leads to forced throws and interceptions. You may see fewer mistakes by the Steelers quarterback in that regard, and certainly much more distribution of the football. We saw that today in 7-on-7 afternoon practice when he threw the ball to a lot of different people, including James Conner for a touchdown, 7-on-7. Juju Smith-Schuster got involved in a touchdown, and so did Vance McDonald. We also saw some good defensive play, tight coverage out there today by a lot of those guys. Brian Allen stood out to me, as did Sutton Smith, sixth-round linebacker who was really hopping to the ball, making a lot of things happen out there, and forced an overthrow at one point as well. So it's only one practice. You can't really draw too many conclusions. I think the one thing that if you go up there you'll see too, before and after practice, a lot of the jugs guns are being used by defensive players who want to come up and improve their interception totals or their turnover totals in general. And one way to do that is to hang on to the football. We've often seen wide receivers. Nobody did it more than Antonio Brown, and certainly that practice made perfect. You can see those guys working hard to try to hang on to footballs, and that's been one of the problems with the Steelers. They had, despite 52 sacks, tied for Kansas City for the league lead, they were one of the worst teams when it comes to making turnovers and changing, games around, field position, all of that stuff. So that's one of the points of emphasis we've seen through OTAs, minicamp, and certainly we will see a lot more of that in this session. Ben Roethlisberger spoke today and basically said he's looking forward to it. I'm really excited about his arm at this level of his career at age 37. He still believes he can throw the ball down the field with, not only accuracy but velocity, and he is still one of the best deep ball throwers in the game. Juju Smith-Schuster spoke and said it's all business with him. He's looking forward to being the number one guy, taking on double teams, and that should open things up for James Washington. Deontay Johnson had a lot of first-team snaps today, and I think they really like what that kid can do out of the MAC conference. And we'll see about the Eli Rogers / Ryan Switzer slot debate that may go on. There are going to be a lot of interesting storylines in this preseason. So when you watch the games on KDKA starting on August the 9th, that's 2 weeks from tonight, first game at home against Kansas City, you'll see a lot of those storylines sort of play out. In the meantime, we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about the Pirates, who lost again. When we come back, I'm going to show you some of the highlights of their game with the Mets tonight, and it gets worse and worse. The Pirates now are 11 games under 500. Dario Agrizal, who has normally been reliable for 6 innings, went only 5 tonight, and he got hit pretty hard. And then Michael Felice gave up a lot of home runs as well, and the Mets beat them tonight. So the Pirates have dropped to 11 games under 500. We also saw something, in case you didn't see it last night, and if you didn't, we'll show it to you at 11 o'clock on KDK. You may be able to call it up, obviously, on social media. But a first, they've been tracking saves in baseball since the year 1969, but never before has a position player made a save. And that happened last night in the Anaheim game. It was interesting to watch that game because late night, and I stay up late, and sometimes I'm scanning around trying to find stuff to watch. Baltimore and Anaheim were in an extra inning game. So they go to the 15th inning, and the Orioles score 3 in the top of the 15th. In the bottom of the 15th, Mike Trout drives in 3, and it's a tie game, so they go to the 16th. And in that top of the 16th, Baltimore scored 2 more, so they had the lead. But guess what? They ran out of pitchers. They didn't know what to do, so they bring in Stevie Wilkerson, who's a center fielder by trade. He came in and never threw the ball more than 56 miles an hour, but he got 3 straight outs, including Albert Pujols to end the game. First position player ever to register a save. We'll show you those Pirate highlights and take your calls. Get in right now. It's 412-575-2600. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call on Pittsburgh CW. The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.